it people to create some online communities. Okay, so these social media platforms has a lot of online communities among that, through which it can able to share a lot of information, ideas, messages, and also videos and music. Yes, YouTube. With YouTube you can like create a lot of videos and then share it, and then you can also like form a community. You can create a channel, and then you can just like have subscribers who are like-minded, right? So you can include YouTube also in these platforms. So why this kind of marketers, why the companies go to social media for marketing their product? Because who buys a product or service? The end customer. So in the olden days, they had distribution channels, or they had retail shops. So only the intermediaries were kind of had contact with the customers. So in order to build relationship with the customers, they have to create good relationship with the intermediaries, and then having a direct contact with customers is very very tough for the companies who are like mostly involved in B2B businesses, and they don't have contact with end users. So but this social media has created a platform where they can just like go and reach to any end user in any part of the country, right? So this actually helped these companies to strengthen their brands, acquire more customers, and if there is any new products is to be launched, they just don't have to go to TV ads or newspaper ads or magazine ads. Or they just like can go and announce it in their Facebook page or Twitter page, which is going to have more reach compared to the rest of the advertisements, and it's kind of completely free, right? Posting an ad in, post in Facebook, you have to have people working on your Facebook page, yes, still, but the cost here is comparatively lesser when compared to the other platforms. Okay, and if you want to like get into a new product, or enter a new market with a new product, and if you want to like test that waters, yes, social media is the right platform. You can create polls, discuss about it. The olden days, to get to know what the customers think, they have to spend tons and tons of money, create a survey form, they have to employ people to go and get the results from the end customers. It was a very huge process, and it took time. But right now everything can just like happen over a click, and then you will get the results in the next day or next hour. It depends on the reach, and depends on how many people you want to like survey on, right? It was very easy, and yes, definitely all these things finally leads to increasing our sales, and then increasing our revenue so that you can earn money. Yes, right. So that's why the companies, the marketers go to social media. Okay, so do you think it's only the companies who go to social media to make money or earn more revenue or to increase their brand awareness? No. you know Barack Obama actually, he for his 2008 election, during his first term, actually, he was like contesting as a president in early 2007. At that time, nobody knows Barack Obama, but in the Democratic Party. But his opponent Hillary Clinton, she's like kind of a household name, because she's wife of Bill Clinton, right? She only served 2 terms. So, but still, when these things were kind of going on, Barack Obama actually kind of had a campaign over social media in 2007, in different social media platforms like Twitter and Facebook at that time. And with that, he was able to become very popular with a lot of young voters who are using social media platforms, which contributed to his success. And with that, he was able to raise more money for the campaign, which which finally leads to he becoming the Democratic nominee for the presidential election in 2008. Okay, so he was able to like defeat his own party contestant Hillary Clinton by raising more funds, right? This is completely because of his social media campaign. So he had a campaign team for social media separately. So I think his successful 8-year term, and then all his yes, we can all these campaigns. I think it was kind of more uh, popular, and it became viral over social media than his like a normal talks campaigns. Okay, so it kind of started very early, and later rest of the countries was following Obama's footsteps. And there was a case study on this campaigns done by Obama for his 2008 elections in Stanford University. Okay, so I will be sharing that case study document. It was a kind of a 40-page case study. It's very interesting. You can just read it if you're interested. I'll share it later. Okay, after the session. And how this social media is kind of increasing over a period of time. So here you can see a graph from 2014 to 19 internet users, I mean social media users. Okay, so when you see it, the users of social media is kind of increasing year by year. Okay, so that means the people who are using social media, they're continuing to use, as well as there's more people getting in. And don't think only the youngsters who are kind of growing up also is getting in. It's not that. Yes, the old people, the aged people, people who can just like barely read and write, they're also using social media. Yes, and thanks to all this globalization, these social media platforms are available in different regional languages as well, right? So this is adding fuel to this fire of social media. Okay, so that's all about like what's happening over social media, how this is kind of helping companies, governments, and and we just talked about the trend, everything. So now we are getting the crux of it. So this social media marketing has a process. Okay, the first step is like listen. The companies has to listen what's happening in the market. I mean, in the social media platforms. Okay, and then they have to have their goals in social media marketing. It's not about like launching a new product, or like in how to spend I mean how to like develop a new product. That's going to be the goal of a company. I'm just talking about the goal, setting goals for social media marketing, how they're going to reach, how many people they're going to reach, that kind of goals. And then they have to strategize their plans, and then they implement, and then they have to check whether they were able to like meet the goals in the measure platforms, and then they should be able to improve things by checking into the metrics. And then it's a kind of a process, and then you'll be going on for a new campaign. So it's a process, but we'll be like discussing in each of the step one by one now. Okay, we're going to be using the companies are like using multiple tools in each of the steps. We'll be just looking into this one by one now. So listening. So when you say social listening, it's not like when companies just like going through the Twitter page, checking out what people are tweeting, or like having a Google alert. I think you all know what is a Google alert, right? So you can just like go and set a keyword as an alert where in Google, where you can just like check if any news coming up on that keyword, it will be like delivered to an inbox. So you can also like set your notification time, and the frequency, everything. Okay, so it's actually an approach. Social listening is an approach where you'll be like having people in your team who'll be like surfing online on your about your brand, and what people are what doing, your customers are doing, what people are doing, and what's happening in the industry, what's the competitors posting on the social media platform, everything. So there'll be like real people sitting and analyzing it. But that's why you have social media research analyst jobs, or you will be having a lot of bots also. This job is kind of sometimes automated as well. Big MNCs have automated this process. Okay, so when you see a campaign, called Paytm Karo. It was kind of very famous few years back, right? Okay, so what they did is like transfer platform, right, when it was launched, because through banks you can able to transfer money, you can able to pay bills. Yes, and there were like a few of the competitors like PayPal in in of other country platforms. But what's special about Paytm? There was nothing at that point of time. So what they like they listen what's happening. They don't want to market themselves as just one another you know cash transfer platform. What they did is like they like created a campaign about how a common man suffers by not having a change when you go to buy groceries, or when you like travels through auto. At that time we don't had Ola, so when you're just traveling in auto, or when you just go to grocery shop, or when you just like go to buy vegetables, how a common man is kind of suffering with no change of money. He that kind of campaigns was like that kind of ads were like kind of promoted, and then you said why you have to like suffer for that. You just do Paytm. You don't have to give 35 rupees and 50 paise. You can just Paytm that money. So that kind of campaigns were like kind of made. It was very uh, a success, and which made Paytm a household name, and also like a very popular name among the small businesses. In the olden days, yes, I mean now we have GPay also like there in a lot of grocery shops, small hotels, restaurants, right? But in, like few years back, 4 5 years back, we had only Paytm, right? But right now we have PhonePe, GPay, a lot of other platforms. But Paytm was the first company who made this campaign, and was able to reach the small businesses, the grocery shops, the auto drivers, everybody first. Okay, and next one of the campaign was done by Kisan Farms. Okay, Kisan is a product of HUL, Hindustan Unilever Limited. So I think kids love this product, but still, it was kind of comparatively costlier than the rest of the products in the same category. Okay, but the quality of the products is very good. But still, how you can't just go and say, okay, my product is superior; it has very good quality. But there are a lot of other, local brands available which say, okay, it's a pure tomato jam and a sauce. Sorry, tomato sauce, and they were able to like provide the jam at the sauce at the lesser price compared to Kizon, right? So sometimes customers might shift to the alternative brands or the local brands because the cost is very less, and and the quality was good as well when compared to Kursa. So what they did, they created a campaign, okay, of what you grow is what you eat. Okay, so to make people realize it's made of more pure tomato, they have like added a tomato seeds in the cap, in the Kisan sauce cap. Okay, and then it was selling it, and there's a lot of ad was created, and and campaign was made, and online postings were made, and this ad was very popular. I think you should have like remember that right now, where people living in a gated community, and then kids were they're planting tomato seeds from this Kizon product, and then every whole community kind of came up together. And initially, they were not like having. They were not mingling with each other. That ad was kind of like played in TV frequently. So this campaign actually made Kizan sales go up very high when compared to the previous quarters. Okay, and actually there was a separate website created called www.kisanpur.com. Okay, so where it is actually, there was no place or village called Kisanpur, but it was kind of created, and then the campaigns were made, and where people were like sharing pictures of all the tomatoes that they were growing. It was kind of a good engagement for the uh, mothers who are buying all this product. Okay, so how, so this Paytm and Kisan were able to like do this kind of campaign, uh, a new positioning of the product, because they were listening what's happening in the market. Paytm was listening what's happening in the money transfer platform market, and they don't want to be one another. And also Kisan was also like trying to create a differentiation in the market. But there's a lot of local players were available. It was kind of very difficult for them. So Kisan created a different strategy. Okay, so here none of them had made any changes in the product. Paytm didn't make many changes, or Kisan doesn't made any change. It's about how they reach the customers. They were able to like strategize their reach in a completely different way. Okay, in rest of the when compared to the rest of their competitors, so people started liking the product more. The brand awareness become more. Okay, so there are a lot of tools available in the market to identify what's happening, what really happening in that area. Okay, so we have Google Alerts. I was talking about this already. So you just have to like go to google.co.in /alerts, where you can just like create any alert by giving the keyword. So I just gave social media marketing, and I gave how often I need at least once a day, and in the source it can be automatic. Here you can also like customize your sources. Language should be in English and any region, or which means all region. So I want only the best results, and I want to be delivered to my this email ID. Okay, so you can also like do this for any other keywords. For example, if I'm part of Kisan, and then you can just like go and say Kisan, and then you can add it. So you can also like try to figure out how many people are like talking about Kisan. If any article is being like discussing about sauce, or like if anybody's talking about tomatoes, I just wanted to know. You can also like give that here, and then you can create an alert. You can also try that later. Okay, and there is another one called Google Trends. Here you can just go and give keywords, and then compare I mean which keywords are kind of popular. So I was like trying to understand Taylor Swift is more popular than Kim Kardashian. I think you all know about Kardashian sisters. They're like kind of very popular. So I was like trying to check who's more popular. Is it Kim or Taylor? So we found out, yeah, Kim is kind of more popular than Taylor Swift. So I mean, we can see that is like the line chart with red color goes for Kim. So people are trying to like search more about her. Okay, so you can do that for any, not only for celebrities, it can be for any keywords like vegetables, tomato versus potato. Yes, you can do that. Okay, and with Twitter, if you want to like search for a house for rent or for sale, yes, you can just like do that on Twitter as well. Because if, for example, if you just do a Google search, you might be able to get into Suleka or some other platforms where you'll not be able to reach the person who's selling or renting the property directly. But in Twitter, it's not the case. You have access to that person instant, right? You can just go and like message with him or her, and then ask, okay, I'm looking for a house, so can we just connect, can we meet tomorrow or today? You can just like make it happen instantly when compared to the rest of the platforms. So it's more efficient, right? So this is actually, this is called listening. These are the tools that you can use for listening. Okay, and there's one more area called social mention. So it's actually a online media search engine. Okay, so here this search engine searches the user generated content such as blogs, videos, comments, news, articles, social media posts, everything. Okay, and then it able to like derive some meaningful insights. Okay, and then it gives the search results to the search this person is searching, the user. Okay, so this This search can be like filtered based on whatever that you're looking for. I mean, you can just like create a keyword search as well here, and then you can automate that process like you can do it in Google Alerts. Okay, so you have to like look into the four metrics. So this platform, the social mention platform, provides you four different metrics, which is very very important. First one is strength. So the strength actually helps you to understand the strength of the keyword. Okay, sometimes some people this Me Too movement was very famous in online social media platforms with hashtag Me Too, right? So that the strength of that Me Too was kind of very high because people were like talk a lot of people were talking about it. And next is sentiment. Sometimes things might good things might will also be popular. People always think when something is going viral, we always think okay, it's negative. So sometimes if a new movie is kind of released, and when Tenet was movie was announced, it was kind of able to like crash the internet, which means like a lot of people were like talking about it, and right, that's what I mean. There's a positive response. So sometimes there will be negative sentiment as well. So you'll be able to analyze the ratio of both positive and negative mentions on social media. It gives you a ratio. So for example, you can't think okay, everything is going to be positive. So when you just like go and search Obama, do you think that everything is going to be positive? Yes, most of the sentiments will be positive. Whereas when you like try to like search for Donald Trump, yes, most of the negative sentiments will be negatives, but you might have few positive sentiments as well, right? So it gives you a ratio of both positive and negative sentiments. Okay, here AAML, I mean natural language processing techniques has been used in this tool. Next one is passion. So it is a measure of likelihood that the individual is like talking about the keyword repeatedly. For example, you have the passion score as 30%, which indicates very fewer people is repeatedly talking about it. You know, um, so it's like only few people talking about it, but they have been talking about it a lot. Whereas when you say reach, it's actually it measures the range of influence, how many people it was like they were talking about. Okay, when you say the reach is 61%, it actually out of 100 mentions, I mean 100 mentions, 61 were unique users. Okay, when more people are talking about it, you will find the unique users as a reach. Whereas few people are talking about it repeatedly, that comes under passion. Okay, so passion and reach is kind of go together sometimes, but reach might be wider, but passion might be less. Okay, but when a movie release, passion rate will also increase, and the reach count was also will be increasing. Okay. So, what are the features of these social media tools? Okay, there are a lot of social media tools available. We'll be like discussing this later. Okay, so we need the social media tools to monitor the keywords. Okay, we'll be just like identifying the keywords and then upload them on these tools. They should be able to analyze. Okay, in Twitter, who's talking about tomato, or like in Twitter, who's talking about Donald Trump, like that. And then it should be able to measure the performance. When you say performance, it's about the sentiments, is it positive or negative, and then what is the passion, what is the reach, everything. They should be able to measure the performance of that uh, keywords, and then they should be able to track trends as well. Okay, what's happening? Okay, what people were like talking about Donald Trump last week, was the sentiment positive, and what are they talking about right now? Okay, and this kind of trends also has to be tracked, and a dashboard has to be created. So this is these are the features that any social media marketer is looking for in their tools. Okay, so we have a lot of tools. Okay, available like Sci-Fi. Most of the Indian companies uses this HubSpot, Sci-Fi, this kind of social media marketing tools. That is like, this is kind of a more global listening tools available in the market. Smartbox, brand keywords, trends report, keyword report, Sprouts, premium listening solutions, and many more tools are available, so you can just like go online and search on this, and you'll be landing in the web page. You have to like create an account. You can sign up for free. At least you can get a trial sometimes and get to know the product. Okay, you can do that when you're free. Okay, so you just have to like go and Google it, and then you'll be landing in the web page. Okay, next we are entering into the next phase, which is goal setting. Okay, okay, first we just talked about what you should be listening to in social media, right? So you found out what's happening. So that's what Nano did. Nano is a product of Tata Motors. So Nano actually was visualized by people when it launched as a low cost car, right? You just have to pay one lakhs to get a car. But over a period of time, the brand value of Nano was kind of decreasing. So what they thought is like, okay, we have to categorize this car into a segment where young people, college going students, or people who are like starting their family early, or people under 30, if they want to buy a car, they should actually go for Nano because it's kind of little less costly when compared to the rest of the cars. So they want to target the young people, young adults or adolescents. Okay. When someone wants to like learn driving, I think they should go for Nano because it's easy for them to navigate. So they were having that kind of mindset, and they want to reposition the Nano cars into different segment. Okay, so that was the goal. So they listened what the Tata was listening, what people were thinking about Nano, and then they wanted to create a goal with different brand position. So this is an example of goal set. Okay, Tata Nano trying to reposition their brand. Okay, so next is content strategy. Okay, so how you are, going to create the content, and then yes, you will be able, anyone would be able to create a content, but which content has to be posted when, and how frequently I can post different kind of contents. There's a lot of things, right? So you can't just like post random things at random time, but you have to really understand what kind of contents has to be posted. So there's a lot of approaches being followed, but there are two approaches which is very important and being followed by most of the social media marketers are like 70-20-10 content approach, which means 70% of the content that you post should be a low risk content, and 20% is a medium risk content, and 10% is a high risk content. So when I say low risk content, it's actually the content which has been like, which gives you the information, or it's kind of a factual content. Okay, so it should be everyday content, okay, which is used to engage your customer. For example, if you are e-commerce store like selling groceries on vegetables, fruits, so you can see the seven most nutritious greens here. Okay, you can just like give the names of the greens with the pictures and the nutrition score. Okay, so there's no risk in posting this kind of content, and most of the content should be in this category, which is 70%. Next is a medium risk content. So 20% of this content should be a medium risk content, which is like kind of little innovative, but it should be kind of involving your consumers. So here I have a post Grofers, which is kind of giving 20% off for the all orders. Okay, so here you're like kind of a posting a content. So when people use this link to get into the Grofers page and then order groceries, they'll be getting a 20% off. Okay, so next is high risk content. So here it constitutes about 10% of the content, and it should be like creating expectations up front. Okay, sometimes you might get a chance of success and failure, but for example, you have a post here as like you are wishing Shah Rukh Khan happy birthday, because Shah Rukh Khan is a brand ambassador for Big Basket, and he tends to deliver groceries to the customers now and then, like not now and then, very rarely, once or twice he did, to create a hype about the product. So posting things like that, just Shah Rukh Khan go and deliver groceries to one of the most valued customer of Big Basket or something like that. So this kind of are a very high risk content which is kind of comes unexpected, you know. Okay, sometimes, you know, some people might uh, get negative comments also on this kind of content. For example, once Ola did a promotion saying you can prefer Ola when you have when you find little costlier to get a to take a girl on a date, something like that. There was a promotion made by Ola earlier like this, but it actually like created a lot of negative criticism because India is a country where we are not, you know, publicly talk about going for a date or something on, and then we don't, you know, talk about the money who's attached to it in when getting into relationships and all this stuff. It's very sensual topic. So when that kind of content is kind of post, Ola really got a negative response, and very immediately they stopped this campaign in the social media. Okay, so you have to really understand what kind of contents that you should be like posting. So you should not be always posting, okay, you have an offer, go and click this, you have an offer, go and do that. You should not be doing all this. So most of the content should be a information or factual content. 20% is going to be medium risk content where you'll be talking about the offers, and only 10% is about an high risk content which is unexpected. Okay, and next one we have a 50-50% content strategy where you should be like talking about a brand or a company only on the 50% of the time. You should not be like talking about always your brand. You should have a variety. Okay, you should be having a variety like entertainment, humor, memes. So you should be like engaging your customers. Okay, next one is engagement ladder. Okay, so how the customers uh, you know can be engaged, and if one of the customers being is engaging the rest of the users, what kind of engagement ladder that the company should have. Okay, the first one is the ratings and review. So who most of the times people think, or the companies think, a customer who's buying the most is a good customer. No, it's actually not. A customer who actually gives good reviews and ratings about the product online is actually a good customer. For example, if you're going to buy $1,000 worth products every month, yes, you're not a good customer. But you just like buy $50 worth product today, every month, but you got to talk about that product every time, or you just like give a good rating for that product, 5 rating product, and give a good review on social on e-commerce platform. So because of that, maybe 100 people might have bought the product is a very good customer. Okay, and then customer who involve himself in discussions. Sometimes in Amazon, Flipkart, you might have questions like, okay, I'm gonna planning to buy this laptop. Is the features good? Is it really worthy? Some kind of questions you might get in the discussion forums. Some customers will go and reply, yes, I bought this and I'm completely satisfied. Here, see the list of uses, right? So here that customer is kind of engaging himself in discussions. So yeah, that's the next step. And third step is generating ideas. Sometimes companies come to customers to talk about what they want, what their next product is going to be, what kind of things that the customer are expecting. So some social media posts are being created, or polls has been created, when one customer like help the companies to generate ideas in designing a product or service. Yes, that's the next step in the ladder. And fourth one is like customers sometimes involved in creating ad. Yes, noodles does, Maggie noodles does that, or Horlicks. Yes, they just go to people who uses the product in the household, and they talk about how the kids or the mom is kind of attached to the product. right? So when then customers are involved in this process, yes, or they might give us a slogan competition or something, then you have to participate in the competition, and the best slogan will be like will be included in the ad, right? So here the customer is kind of taking time to write a slogan, send it to the company, which means that that customer is kind of more attached to the rest of the customers, right? And which actually leads to creating emotional connect with the brands. So when all these things are being done, people are able to like connect themselves very emotionally. And when the next stage is like this customers becomes a part of a product development. First in the third stage they were able to like generate ideas for a good product. It may not be like implemented. So over a period of time, when new product is being like created based on the suggestions of the customer, you know that customer becomes a part, an integral part of creating this. Okay, so this happens with the Peugeot. It's actually a European car maker. So invited its online audience by submitting what kind of car by asking them to submit like what kind of car designs they want, and then uh, so this actually attracted 4 million page views. So a lot of people kind of uh, gave ideas about how Peugeot can actually design their car. Okay, this was very popular in the European countries. And who should be the person? Okay, to target. Okay, so we're talking about the content, how you should be creating the content, how, right? So if you are like kind of trying to create content in your social media platforms, so there are three different types of target audience you have: customers, opinion leaders, and general public. So customers are the people who use the product. Okay, and opinion leaders are the people who use it. Sometimes they may not use it, but they talk about your product a lot, they review your product. And third one is the general public. So they might heard about your product, they might be a future user, sometimes not, but still they know your product. For example, I may not use Nike, but still I know Nike, and then I'm kind of a little inspired about the product. Okay, so I'm a general public to Nike, right? So I have that this the target audience belongs to these three different categories. Okay, so what kind of post that I should be like doing for the customers? Okay, the customers will be like kind of more interested in knowing about the product features and what's new in the product price. Okay, so the customers will be interested in knowing about the product, whereas the opinion leaders will be interested in knowing what's happening in the industry, what's new, what is the forecast, what's the sales is happening, and what is the report, dashboards. All these things will be like interesting to opinion leaders. Whereas for general public, you have to do posting on like humor, entertainment, memes, and stuff. Okay, so to target your customers, mostly you have to like do it on Facebook and LinkedIn. When it is like B2B, you can go for LinkedIn. If it is B2C, you can go for FB. And for opinion leaders, these people who criticize things, though their customers are not, to engage them, you have to go for Twitter. Whereas for general public, you can go again for like Facebook and LinkedIn. But if the target customer, if you're like trying to target a demographic which are kind of younger, in younger population, you can just go for Instagram, that kind of stuff. Okay, so when you want to like target old people, you can go for LinkedIn or Facebook. Yes, LinkedIn is a platform. It's not about age. It's about like it's a professional one. Okay, so our pre-final stage is implementation. So in during the implementation, so we have found out what kind of content has to be created and when it has to be like posted at what rates. We just discussed about that, and who is going to be target audience. Next is like doing the timely post. We should have a social media calendar for all of our social media platforms. So it doesn't mean that, for example, most of the my users will be like kind of night owls. They'll be like using the active after 10 o'clock. Does that mean that you should have a person sitting in your office to post a content at 10 p.m. on a Saturday? No, you don't have to do that. You can schedule your post. There's a lot of social media platforms, tools available to do that. One of them is Buffer. Buffer is it's very very popular. It's been used globally. Okay, to manage social media activities. Okay, here you can just go and post your post, and then like you can analyze what is the rate of reach. All these things can be analyzed to buffer. And you have TweetDeck. It's actually another app which is only meant for Twitter accounts. Okay, so here you can just like have a dashboard through which you can able to manage multiple Twitter accounts. For example, I'm a social media marketer for HUL, Hindustan Liver. I have a lot of brands under me, right? To manage different brand social media pages, Twitter accounts, you can use TweetDeck. Okay, so next there is another tool called reaction checks. So most of the time this kind of tool is used for crisis management. I was talking about Ola, right? Ola creating a campaign about dating and making it cost effective stuff. So that actually, it was kind of identified that the campaign is going negative in very few hours after posting. Okay, so how do you check that? You have a lot of tools. When social media post is made, you have a tools to analyze the sentiments which is happening, and then you get like the most of the sentiments is negative. You have to really remove that ad. So this is for example, if you do a post and it's not getting a good reach, it's fine, you can just leave it on your social media page. But having a negative post on your social media page is gonna break the internet, and then it's going to create a very bad name. So so this reaction sheet is mostly used in the times of crisis management. Okay, next is measure. So how will you measure this? Okay, so you have implemented, but how are you going to measure? So there are a lot of metrics is being used. Okay, so to increase the brand reach, you have to achieve 100 brand mentions through retweeting or getting 50 shares on Facebook. So you have some metrics. You can't just say, okay, I'm going to reposition my brand. That is my goal. No, you can't do that. You have to have a metrics. So here you're saying achieving 100 brand mentions through retweeting or getting 50 shares on Facebook. Okay, you are giving some specific metrics here. Okay, so we have few formulas to like understand or measure how is the marketing campaign went on in social media. First, you have conversion rate, sorry, conversation rate. So number of comments by reach, number of people the post has reached, and the number of comments it has made. For example, it had reached 1 million users, but only 10 people has commented on it. It's very rare. The conversation rate is very less. The amplification rate is number of shares. If it is in Facebook, it is number of shares by reach. If it's in Twitter, it is number of retweets by per reach. 1 million people have saw that, but only like 10 people have shared it in Facebook. That is very bad rate, very bad amplification rate. Applause rate is number of likes in Facebook per reach, number of favorites in Twitter per reach. Okay. We can also like analyze the engagement rate. Okay, engagement rate is nothing but total interactions. When you say total interactions, it can be your like, share, comment, clicks, page likes, everything. Okay, divided by estimated reach from total post. For example, 1 million people have like saw this, and total interactions, 10 people liked, 10 people shared, 10 people commented, and 10 people clicked on it, and 10 because of that 10 people liked. So only 50 interactions happened for 1 million views. That is your engagement rate. Economic value is short-term revenue plus long-term revenue. So after posting the ad, my immediate sales went up. Yes, that is a short-term revenue. Whereas long-term revenue, some people might have like saw that, but they'll not be like buying it immediately. They might have subscribed to your newsletter, or they like the page, or they become followers. But still, over a period of time, they become a consumer. So this long-term revenue cannot be measured directly. Sometimes, yes, there are few tools available, but the sum of both this short-term revenue and long-term revenue, call it as economic value. Okay, next formula is value per lead generated. So for each of the campaigns, you have to spend money on social media, right? So the total value of conversions divided by total number of leads. So for example, I spent 5,000 rupees for a campaign, and then I got 50 leads. So 5,000 divided by 50 is 100. So for one lead, the value is 100 rupees. Okay. Okay, our final stage is improve. So you have done all this, you have run a campaign, and then you've measured, okay, this campaign is worthwhile because I have a the value per lead is 100 rupees only. The engagement ratio is high. You found out something based on the campaigns that you have made. Okay, improve is like, so when you should have like had a goal in the earlier. So I want to have a goal of having a conversation rate as 20%. Okay, so if 100 people saw my post, I should have 20 people reacting to it, talking about it, commenting about it. So if that is a goal, and then if your goals is not met, you have to really restructure the strategy. You have to make your post a little interesting. Whereas if the goals is met, yes, it is fine, then you have to move on. You have to go on, move on and work on your new campaign and start working on it, because it's a cycle. Okay, so far we have been like discussing about different stages of social media marketing. Okay, next we have a topic of referral traffic, which we will be like discussing in our next session. So I guess like this was little interactive, and I mean little, it was not interactive because I didn't see you guys asking questions, but still, I think it was little engaging to you. You kind of like it. Is there any questions?